So the good news is it doesn't really matter how much you make or how much you have. It's about your attitude and it's about your relationship with money. So when you receive your money next time with a smile, you can say, thank you, money, for coming into my place. It's
Hmm.
almost like inviting your best friend to your house. You want to make it
Hmm.
as comfortable as possible so then money can stay as long as it needs. And then when money leaves your house, you can say, thank you for staying with me. And
Hmm.
make sure, please bring your friends when you
Yeah, I
come.
like that. Peace and riches blessings. I am Michael B. Beckwith, the host of Take Back Your Mind. Peace and blessings, everyone, and welcome to Take Back Your Mind, where we are curating conversations with magnificent individuals that will assist in removing the obscurations of the mind, assist in shifting our perception, assist in shifting our point of view or our positionalities so that we can begin to see better. We can begin to heal spiritual astigmatism. We are blind to reality. I call that Take Back Your Mind. And today, we're going to have Ken Honda. He's a friend of mine, a recent friend of mine, but still we've known each other for a long time. And I'll bring him on and introduce you to him shortly. But right now, as we do on a regular basis, we have a life question of the week. This one is from Mirko. He's asking from Italy. He says, I feel that the theme of justice is missing from our conversations. I feel that many of our institutions, such as judges and the police, treat people more like criminals than citizens. And we breathe in the toxic air of fear every day. How do we take back our minds from injustice, corruption, and the militarization of our law enforcement agencies? Now, you're writing from Italy, but I'm sure that your question can cover the gamut of many countries. I know here in America, there's systemic racism. There's two kinds of justices. There's a justice that's meted out to poor people and people of color, and there's a justice that gets meted out to people who have money and means. They're not necessarily the same kind of justice, even though the crime or the infraction might be the same. So I hear you. Now here's how we take back our mind. First of all, Buckminster Fuller talked about the fact that instead of trying to tear down an old system, we have to put our energy into building the new system. So that begins with vision. We have to learn to really articulate the ideal of the systems, whether it's a political system, whether it's jurisprudence, legal system, a justice system, which often means injustice for people without means. We have to deal with a vision of what does the ideal look like. Then we have to articulate that vision, and then we have to actually go into action to actually build that kind of system. Many people think, that's just the way it is. That's just the way human nature is. People that get into power, they're corrupt. Politicians are corrupt. Judges are corrupt. They deal with their own cronies one way. They deal with everyone else the same. They deal with their own life one way. They deal with other people's lives the same. And that may be true on the human spectrum of life. But we have to have a vision of possibility. We have to so articulate what that vision looks like that it compels us to action. And there are people right now working on the inside of many of these systems that have become corrupt. Prison industrial system being one. That are seeking to change it from the inside out. And I think that as more and more of us speak about the possibilities and articulate the vision as it can be, and then walk in that direction, as individuals have heard me say over the years, vision without action is fantasy. But action without vision is chaos. So there has to be the articulation of vision combined with action in order to take back our mind. We have to use our energy to so build the kind of system we want to live in that the old one deteriorates because there's no energy in it. Now this may seem like a pipe dream, but remember where the pipe dream comes from. A pipe dream is from our Native American brothers and sisters. They would smoke the pipe and have a vision of possibility that moved them into action. It may seem airy-fairy, and it's actually airy-gritty. It's vision combined with action. We're called upon now to find our place in the world, whether it's environmental injustice, whether it's political shenanigans, whether it's injustice from our very own Supreme Court. What does the vision look like? And what actions can we take as citizenry? Citizens, engaged citizens, to be and then to do what is necessary. There's a lot of work for us to do. Thank you for the question. Now, if anyone has a question, regardless, it could be about harmonizing prosperity, it can be about health, whatever it is, I'll do my best to answer it. Just, email me at podcast@michaelbeckwith.com, and your question, like Miracle, may be pulled, and I may take a go at it, okay? Have a bright day. Be right back. So once again, peace and blessings, everyone. And as I mentioned earlier, I have Ken Honda with me today. And obviously, it is my joy that he's with me on Take Back Your Mind, the podcast that's basically about allowing our mind to no longer be hijacked by fear and doubt and worry and any sense of separation from the source of all creation. And so I'm going to introduce you to Ken Honda. Now, Ken Honda and I, we spent a little bit of time together in India this year. We were both at the International Yoga Festival there in Rishikesh, and we bonded. It became a very powerful moment in which it's like we became instant friends. Like we knew each other. We bonded with his daughter, who's a great singer. And so I'm really looking forward to our wonderful conversation. Now, if you don't know who Ken Honda is, let me tell you, he's a money and happiness expert, best-selling self-development author in Japan, surpassing 8 million copies since 2001. You may have one of his books in your library. His latest book is called Happy Money, The Japanese Art of Making Peace with Your Money. And everyone needs to be reminded about the lessons we're going to talk about, particularly during a time in which scarcity has become a mindset for so many people. He studied law at the Waseda University in Tokyo and worked as a business consultant and investor. His financial expertise comes from owning and managing several businesses, including an accounting company, a management consulting firm, venture capital corporation. So he's had his feet on the ground in so many ways. His writings bridge the topics of finance and self-help, focusing on creating and generating personal wealth and happiness through self-honesty. He provides ongoing support through mentoring programs, business seminars, therapeutic workshops, and correspondent courses. And he's the first person from Japan to be voted into the Transformational Leadership Council, a group of personal and professional development leaders. I'm a part of that from the old days, and I need to get back there. My own life became very, very, so much activity. And so because of people like Ken, I'm going to start going back to the meetings. So Ken, hey, welcome. I know you're in Japan. I'm in Los Angeles. It's early in the morning there. It's beginning of the evening here, but we're bridging time and space and we're one with each other. Welcome to Take Back Your Mind.
Thank you so much, Michael. Hi, everyone. I'm so super excited. I woke up at 5 and I actually had a funny dream about our time in Congo River. And
Yes.
we were just using, I think, a chain, But
Yes.
that time I was just taken away. And then it was like somehow like a fun ride. And just when I woke up, I just had just a happy feeling with me.
That's beautiful. Yeah, we were at the Congo River, Mother Ganga. We baptized ourselves in the Congo
Yes,
River.
yes,
Basically opened ourselves up to continued growth, development, and unfoldment, living in a field of rich abundance and joy. And I look at those pictures from time to time, all of us just exuberant in that cold, beautiful water. It was
yes.
magnificent.
That was so much fun. And thank you for sharing the experience with me and my daughter.
Absolutely. Now, listen, tell me a little bit about your personal journey. Let the people know. I mean, how did you go from being a successful business person to personal development, and then integrating that into happy money? You know, what was the impetus for this growth spurt that you had?
Thank you for asking. So I was born into a unique father who is a tax accountant and who was very successful. So he taught me everything about money, but he got depressed and went into alcohol. So I didn't have a happy childhood. So as after I studied my business and I became financially independent in my 20s, my wife and I found out that about her pregnancy, and then we decided to have a few years off, a few months off. But that few months off got extended to 4 years off. And
4 years from not working, is that what you're saying?
yeah, we
Yeah.
just I was a professional a diaper changer. I could do it in 2 seconds. That's my expertise for 4 years. And after doing that, I got inspiration. I got an inspiration to write about happiness and money because I've seen so many people suffer from money-related stress, and I got to do something. So I started writing 4 pages of like essays, and then people wanted to read more, so it ended up 26 pages of newsletter. And then I stapled it every day, and I got tired of doing it. My friend suggested I should hire a printer, which I did. But instead of my original request for 1,000 copies, he suggested 3,000 copies. And 2 trucks came into my home, and then I had to get rid of all the boxes. So I gave away all the 3,000, and then people responded me. It was crazy. So I printed another 3,000 for gifts. And then by the time I gave away 100,000 copies, a publisher called.
You gave away 100,000 copies?
Yes, it was too much fun, and I had enough money. So
that's not just happy money, it's happy books.
yes. So I was not a best-selling author. I was a best-giving author. And then the rest is history. I've written more than 100 books and sold about almost 9 million copies by now.
That's powerful. Now, describe the difference between like happy money and unhappy money. I love it. I love the phrase happy money, and you and I have talked about it, and I'm definitely in alignment with the laws back of what you're teaching. And so how would you break it down for the people that are listening right now?
Yeah, so happy money makes you smile when you receive it. Like you get an envelope from your mom or dad or grandparents and saying, buy whatever you want. And $10 is in the envelope. And then, mom, you can't buy anything with $10, but that feeling is so good. That is happy money. And when you also spend money at the restaurant or cashier, you feel good and with a big smile. Thank you. And then leave. That is happy money. But unfortunately, 95% of us are in the flow of unhappy money, which makes us feel squeezed when we receive a check. And we get frustrated and irritated when we pay bills. Like, I can't believe this. This is a ripoff. All the phrases we are so used to saying. That is unhappy money.
So we're talking about the attitude of circulation. So like if you have to pay a bill, some people will say, oh, my mail came today and I had these bills in there, and now I got to spend money to pay these bills. So that particular attitude, that's unhappy money. That's unhappy circulation is what you're telling us.
Yes, exactly. I said it that way, but now when I look at the bill, like, oh, my bill came, I'm so happy I can make somebody happy today by paying it.
because
So
basically you're putting your attention on a service you already got. You already
yes.
had the service. So now you're just basically paying for the service. So you can choose happy or you
Mhm.
can choose frustration.
Yes,
If you choose
exactly.
happy, then you're entering, based on what you're teaching, you're entering into a flow. If you're choosing frustration, then you're choosing resistance to
Mhm.
happiness. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, this is beautiful because so many people, like you said 90 something percent of the people are dealing with unhappy money.
Mhm.
And so I imagine that has something to do with a thought form of scarcity somewhere in there. Somewhere we have to break free from that.
Yes, exactly. We are almost brainwashed since we're like 4 or 5 that there's not enough money. So I have a good collection of saying from the world, from Finland, France, Japan, China, and Africa. And we are born and brought up into a household where our mom used to say, "Do you think money grows on a tree? Do you think
Right.
we're Rockefeller? You know, do you think we're Bill Gates family?" So those things chip our self-esteem and then our courage to start doing what we love. So by the age 12, we're pretty depressed.
Hmm. Or we're depressed, and we also have a worldview of lack
Mm-hmm,
and a
mm-hmm,
worldview of limitation. So even if money starts to come into our life, so oftentimes it's still unhappy money because we're squeezing it, we're hoarding it, we're afraid to circulate it. Uh, it stays unhappy. Some people don't learn to share. We don't learn to circulate based on that particular worldview. Now, how does one basically go about, inviting more happy money in their life?
So the good news is it doesn't really matter how much you make or how much you have. It's about your attitude and it's about your relationship with money. So when you receive your money next time with a smile, you can say, "Thank you, money, for coming into my place." It's
Mhm,
almost like inviting your best friend to your house. You want to make it
mhm,
as comfortable as possible so then money can stay as long as it needs. And then when money leaves your house, you can say, "Thank you for staying with me. And
mhm.
make sure, please bring your friends when you
Yeah, I
come."
like that. I like that.
So just say bye-bye, That's the attitude.
Thank you for coming. When you come back, bring your friends.
Yes, a lot of friends.
I love that. I love that. I have a habit of like when I go to the mailbox, I'm anticipating money coming in my mailbox. I know there's going to be bills. I know there's going to be things I have to pay and have to deal with, but my mindset is there's going to be some money in my mailbox. There's going to be a check. There's going to be a kind note from somebody. There's going to be, whether it's here at Agape, where people send in donations, or whether it's my own personal mailbox. I
Mhm.
have this inner feeling that when I go to the mailbox, there's going to be some good news, you
Mm.
know. And even if it's a bill, like you said, it's like, okay, this is beautiful. I already have received the goods.
Mhm.
So now I'm going to circulate energy. But
Mhm.
somebody was making fun of me recently. They're talking about bills. I said, no, when I go to the mailbox, I'm looking for money, or I'm looking to be grateful for something that I've already received. I'm not going to allow a pile of mail to determine my attitude. You know,
Yes,
I'm going to determine my attitude.
that's
You know,
beautiful.
yeah, and this is what you're bringing to people. And so I appreciate what you said about, from a very young age, we're imprinted with whatever our parents' beliefs were about money or scarcity, or money doesn't grow on trees, or, you know, and so many people are actually operating from an unconscious belief that they don't even consciously know about.
Mhm.
And it's determining their whole attitude. And so what would you say would be some of the basic strategies to help people break free from this scarcity mentality?
So I had a great honor to learn from my best teacher. His name is Wahe Takeda, who used to be called Warren Buffett of Japan. He passed away a few years ago, but he was once a major shareholder of more than 100 public companies in Japan. In Japan is a pretty economic big country, so he owns a lot of companies. And what would you ask Warren Buffett if you're in line with 200 people? And then you can ask one question. I asked him, what is the secret of money?
Right.
I thought it's a good question. And he said, with a big smile, arigato your money. That means thank your money. And then I got pushed out. And like,
thank your money.
Arigato your money. And then it just tormented me for months. And a few months later, I got another opportunity to sit down with him. This time I had like 2 hours with him, person to person. And then he explained, once you start appreciating money, both coming in and going out, you can start this beautiful energy cycle of appreciation. When you're in appreciation mode, you cannot change it to worry mode or resentful mode or frustration mode. Once you have this beautiful realization that you have so much, you have electricity. If you're watching this or if you're listening to this, you have a computer or a phone. So you could afford to do that. You're paying bills every month. Otherwise, you cannot listen to this. So if you can start appreciating one little thing, 2 more, 3 more, 4 more, by the time you count up to 5 to 6, you start feeling good. And by the time you count 20 good things that you have in your life, you are in appreciation mode. And that attracts nice people and better opportunities and happier customers.
Yeah, I like this because you're speaking about the fact that like sometimes people will receive money, and two things I want you to talk about. The people who receive money, but they don't think it's a lot of money, and they don't have a lot of appreciation. Oh, this is just a little bit of money, or this is not gonna pay my mortgage this month, or my bill, or whatever the case may be. What would you say to that attitude? What kind of attitude should a person have if they're thinking now, oh, this is not enough. It's not enough money coming in.
Yeah. So I always talk about money and food are very similar. So we often say, just if it's food, we eat, but I don't want to go to the bathroom. I don't want to release anything. How long can you last? And some people want to hold on to their food for 3 days and then suffer. So from health perspective, you have to release well, both number 1 and number 2. Right. And then by releasing what's left in your body, you can eat food joyfully. So money is the same thing. If you can pump out your money, you can receive, because there's a vacuum inside. So pump out, receive, release, and then receive. So if you are in the cycle of release and receive in a healthy way, you have less fear and anxiety. Because think about it, it's like breathing. You breathe in and breathe out. Usually people don't worry about, after I breathe out, can you guarantee that I can breathe in? We do it automatically. Right. Money is the same thing. Don't try to hold on to the breath for the next 2 weeks. You cannot do that.
You'd be dead.
Yeah. So just trust the flow.
Yeah. And so somebody receives a check and it's less than what they wanted. You're saying they should embrace the appreciation and the gratitude, not for the amount, but just that the flow is coming.
Yes.
Would you say arigato the money?
Yes, arigato your money.
Arigato the money. Be grateful for the money, even if it's less. So that puts you in a happy state.
Yes.
And now you're in the flow of receiving more. But if you complain about it, or it makes you frustrated, then you're blocking the flow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. There are 2 florists in station nearby. The one who just is run by an old man, very depressed, and he doesn't seem to care about the flowers. And the other one, she's always smiling. She says hello, and she seems to talk with the flowers. I don't know, hear the conversation, but she's very joyous. And then whenever you go, she's so happy. Just she prepares a beautiful bouquet. The other one depressed. He's doing it for the job. I mean, which
Right.
one go to, right? So if you appreciate it, you want to bring your customers. I actually did a little experiment many years ago. I divided, when I was doing a consulting job, I divided my clients into two groups. One, I do nothing, just regular job. And the other one, I always brought some Japanese tea, herb tea, like a book, like somebody like yours, not super expensive gift, but it's something I really appreciate your business. So I brought this great book that I was really inspired. So look what happened 6 months later. Number one group, I got some referrals, but it's okay. The second group, with small gifts, I got flooded by a lot of referrals, a lot of appreciation, because I showed my appreciation to doing business with us. That somehow touched their heart. So they're talking about me after I left the office, and then they referred to me. So appreciation really works in reality too. It's not a spiritual thing. I mean, it is a spiritual thing, but it's practical too.
Yeah, it is spiritual because you're tapping into the abundance of the universe, but it does have practical ramifications. So going back to the florist example you gave us, people are going to start to gravitate toward this person that's happier and more in tune with the love of her particular position than the person that's upset or frustrated because he's maybe not making enough money or something to that effect. You're going to naturally gravitate. I mean, I know people will go to a restaurant, even if the prices are a little higher, if the service is really good, then a restaurant, if it may be less expensive, the food still may be good. But if the vibe isn't there, people would rather go to the other place, where the vibe is high. People feel vibes. They feel the energy.
Yes.
And so you're telling us our money feels our energy too.
Yes, I remember.
Money is energy.
Yeah. Yes, and I think money has a secret chatter at night. Well,
a secret chatter. Okay.
And then, I think you should go to Michael's place, Agape in International. When you go there, they take good care of you. They use they make sure that we will make everybody happy. So I think you should go. So then all the donations come to you, and then you're happy, and the organization will make sure that all the money received as donations, happy money, will just be sent like an angel.
Yeah.
Okay, you go to that place, you go to the person, you go buy food. So all the money that was sent to your place will be sent out with love. It's almost like an angel receiving money, and then angel flying to the next place. So if you make sure that you treat money well, I think there's this money community that you go to Ken's place,
Right. Oh. You're not going to just be stuck. You're not going to be stagnant. You're actually going to circulate and have a great time around the world.
Yeah. So a few days ago, I did a seminar, and then I talk about don't lock your money. If you lock your animal, pet, like dogs and cats in a cage, you'll be arrested, right? It's for animal cruelty. But if you lock your money for more than like 5 years in your bank account, that you're not touching,
right? I
think you should be arrested by angels of happiness.
That's called hoarding. You're not circulating.
Yeah. So and I jokingly just ask everybody, including me, how many of us have some money bank account that stay there for longer than 5 years? Everybody raise, then ask your money where it wants to go. Maybe the money wants to go to Cambodian orphanage. Maybe you want to help somewhere in Africa or somewhere right across the street, instead of getting stuck in your bank account. And once you release, it'll be back with many friends.
You're reminding me of something I studied a number of years ago. It was a province, I think, in Germany, where they were able to print their own money. And the only caveat about that is that the money had an expiration date.
Yes, yes.
Money, do you remember that study?
Yes.
The money had to be spent within 5 years.
Mhm.
And they discovered that the money circulated so much that the local rate of homelessness and joblessness went down. It didn't match the rest of the nation's homelessness and joblessness. But the government forbid them to do it anymore.
Yes.
They couldn't print their own money anymore.
Mhm.
And within 5 years, the homeless rate and the jobless rate went back up to match the national rate. Because when there was an expiration date on the money, it circulated really fast. You had to use it rather than put it and, like you say, lock it up. You couldn't just lock it up and keep it. You had to actually circulate it, and everybody benefited. And so when they went back to the locked up money, then homelessness and jobless percentage went back up again. This is what you're speaking about.
Exactly.
Just sitting on it. They're not doing anything with it. They're not taking classes with it. They're not necessarily investing. They're not necessarily helping anybody. They're not using it to help their own creativity or learn a new skill. Or it's just sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, it's always good to have some money which you save in order to make sure that that you have enough money to make make sure that your needs are met. But we've developed into cultures that people just stockpile money as if the game is we've come to Earth to stockpile money, something you can't take with you.
Yes. So I'm just predicting there will be a big collapse of some kind of our present capitalism system. Mm-hmm. So I'm writing on a book called Future Money. And in the book, I'm talking about the money in 2028 and where money will have expiration date.
Oh, you putting that in your book?
Yeah. So money will be issued from the government. It's like a basic income money. Say a government will give you $3,000 every month, but the money, since everything is digital, it'll be sent to your iPhone, and then that money will expire within 2 months. If you don't use it, it's going to expire. And then
so you have to circulate it.
Yes, people will go crazy. Okay, I have $500. Here, agape, please.
Yeah.
So if money has an expiration date, it's like milk. If you just have enough milk, probably you give it to your neighbor, or if you have so many apples, you give it to somebody else. So money, it's so important. Money will deteriorate. Otherwise, I think we're gonna have trouble. I mean, we are having trouble. So after this system fall down, I think we need to come up with a happier and also more just system. So I'm focusing more on 2030, where humans can cooperate and respect one another. It sounds very idealistic, but I think it could be practical. So I'm just I want to consult with government in the future that the future money should be expired. And that is.
Well, I'm glad I brought that up. That I think that individuals that are creatively, consciously naive to have idealistic dreams are the individuals that actually pull society forward. It's like society moves forward based on dreamers, based on innovators, based on mystics, based on people that see something that looks impossible, but then describes it, articulates it, imagines it, and walks in that direction. Or else you just stay in the status quo. Well, human beings are always going to be this way. It's always going to be this way. It's never going to change. Somebody has to dream big and say something like this. I remember I talked about that many years ago and called it the gift economy, where you're living to circulate, because I believe we didn't come to the planet to take anything.
Right.
We came to the planet to give something, to contribute, to share. And somewhere we got caught, as you talked about earlier, into the fear of lack and limitation that we ended up clutching. We ended up squeezing the dollar so much we killed the eagle on it. You know what I mean? We suffocate it. It can't fly, And you're bringing us back to happy money circulates. It shares, it shines. And, people like you keep bringing up agape. People like to share at agape because a part of the money that comes into agape not only pays for staff, not only pays for our building and the different, we have evolutionary collaborations where we work with other people around the world to plant trees. And we financially help fund a whole lot of other nonprofit organizations that don't do what we do. We support other organizations that do what we don't do. So the money that comes in is circulating to, homeless, women who've been sexually abused or kidnapped. And, it goes to a lot of places, So like you say, the money's chattering. Well, if we go to agape, we're going to be able to help some people. We go to agape, we're going to plant some trees in the rainforest.
Yes.
We go to agape, there's some people in famine and we're going to be able to go there. Yeah. So, so it's not just like self-serving, give money to agape, It's like if you give money to agape, you're touching the world. So we're in alignment with what you're talking about. Now, you don't have to be wealthy as defined by, wealth management people to have happy money, right?
Yes. So, but practically speaking, people still suffer so much by both things. Me, and I understand about the situation. So I just I'm done with my next English book. It's called How to Stop Worrying About Money. Because
I like that.
It kills you. Money-related stress is the cause of all the divorce and breaks ups, and also the bad feelings about it. So, and I helped so many millions of people literally to release the fear around money. As at the same time, I'm writing Future Money in 2030, where money can be that, but that's like a little bit in the future.
Yeah,
so
it's a vision. That's a vision. Yeah.
Right now, I want to help people get rid of money fear, which is not so hard. It takes only like 10, 20 minutes. And then you can be worry-free for the rest of your life.
Right. I imagine there are many people who have a lot of money, but a lot of their money is not happy money.
And also, it doesn't guarantee your money stress-free, because the more money you have, the more stress comes with it. For your kids, if you are wealthy, your kids are 10 times more likely to be ruined by money. If you don't have money, your kids will not be affected by your money at all. So it's like that. Money is energy, so you have to know how to manage the energy flow. Otherwise, it becomes flood. When there's too much water, the money will wash your whole family away, especially kids and grandkids.
Yeah. I'm thinking about that notorious B.I.G. song, talking more money, more problems. They started getting more money and then there was more problems in their life because they didn't know how to flow with it or manage it, and it just became more issues. But now, you talk about the fact that money is not the problem. Money is not the problem. So we can continue what we're talking about here. What do you mean that money is not the problem?
Money is just neutral energy. We are the one who is messing up with money. Let me just explain from a different perspective. I once helped a client file inheritance taxes. So here they are in a conference room. There is this there are three kids. One Wall Street type, shortcut, nice suit, and the second one wearing Gap, very casual, and the third one total hippie. And even though they're born and brought up in the same household, we become different money types. So we become spender, who love just spending money. We become indifferent, like teachers and police people. Some people are very focused on work, and they don't care about money, and they don't even know how much money they make. And they're a warrior. They worry about money constantly, which is what, like my mother. She always telephoned me and called me and said, "Are you okay? Are you paying all the bills?" Every month, Mom, I'm okay, but still she worries about me. She thinks it's a mother's privilege to worry about her son.
That's their job, to worry about you.
Yes, and there is a gambler, there are compulsive money maker, and there are all kinds of money saver. I forgot. So we become a certain money type because that's how we think we should do best. But unfortunately, we don't understand each other. The irony is that the opposite money type tends to get married. That's how they ended up in my counseling room for money counseling. The spender somehow gets married to a moneymaker, and they're a good match. Because moneymaker finds spender woman or spender man very attractive. They know a good restaurant. They know how to enjoy life. Moneymaker, they're interested in making money. So they are a perfect match because they just provide what they wanted. But after 3 years, this one starts thinking he or she is just doing business. What a boring person. And this one is saying, at the rate of her spending or his spending, I think we're going to go broke. So we should separate. So the same reason that got them together, it could be the reason for divorce. So there are many fun ironies. I think Netflix
That's fun.
Yeah.
I like that. So it keeps coming back to attitude.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm. And so what you're talking about is actually you have an attitude, but you're also talking about having a worldview that we're surrounded by abundance, not in an airy-fairy sense, but in a real sense, we live in a field of abundance. There are abundance of opportunities, there's abundance of potential, possibilities all around us. But if we're miserly or if our money's unhappy, we can't see it. We won't magnetize any of that stuff to us at all.
Oh, true.
Yeah. It'll just we may be walking by an opportunity, but we can't even see it because we have so much frustration and so much clinging to what we have, and we think what we have is not enough. So you're inviting us to actually go into a feeling of more than enough, or go into a feeling of my needs are met. That's a feeling that we can hold. We can begin to develop that.
Yes, exactly, Michael. So what we can do is we can be so happy with where we are, and then satisfied. I'm perfectly satisfied with us 100%, and then we can grow or we can stay. So if you can just satisfy yourself with what you have or what you make, you can be the happiest person on the planet. But if you start complaining, is this all I have? And then you go to this vicious cycle of wanting more, spending more, making more, and then just never-ending cycle of not enough, not enough.
Yeah, I'm hearing you say a couple of things, because if a person is feeling that they have enough, they're not comparing themselves, as you said earlier, to all the multi-billionaire people, but they're feeling that they have enough, then that feeling then provides an opening for more to come through because they're not blocking it. But there can be people who have a lot, but it's causing a lot of problems. The money's unhappy. They end up, I remember counseling a woman a number of years ago who, is pretty well known in the world in terms of being famous and this type of thing. She was a multi-millionaire. And she shared with me that when she was young, she was in her 20s, she said, I wanted to be rich and famous. I prayed to God to be rich and famous. Something happened. She got on television. She got in a bunch of movies. A short period of time, she was rich and famous. And she said to me, I've never had a happy day since that day.
No.
It was true story. It saddened me for a moment. She said, I've never had a happy day since then. She was rich. She was famous. She had all this money. And then she was always afraid people were trying to steal it, and afraid that her family wanted too much. And it was this, then she got addicted to alcohol, and, And now she's doing a lot better because we provided the context for her to be more spiritually minded, not religiously minded, but spiritually minded, and healings are now happening. But I remember she had all the money in the world,
Mm,
all unhappy money, you know. She, did,
exactly.
she didn't like phone calls because she thought somebody was going to ask her for something. If a relative called, oh no, they just want my money,
Mm.
and and there are a lot of people that are living in that kind of hell.
Yes, but it's self-inflicted. You
Yeah.
created it. You created your own. So that's why I think you really have to start knowing who you are. If
Yeah.
you don't know who you are, you want to be more, do more, and then you get lost. So
Right. Right.
I have written many books on how to find yourself and life visions. And in English, I'm known as a happy money person, but in fact, I really want to help people to find who you are, because only by finding who you are, you can find happiness. Otherwise, it's like almost like you're going to go sit on other people's seat. You have to look at your ticket, and then if it says 4B, you should sit on it. But I want that, I want that seat, but that your seat is over there. And so
Right.
if you're sitting on somebody's chair, you have to make sure, is this my seat? If not, you have to get up and just start finding your own seat.
Yeah, you got to be yourself. Now you tell a story about a woman who made more money at work, but didn't ask for a raise or find another job. What was the lesson at that particular story in that book?
Oh, right. One of my students was a single mom and who was complaining about her terrible boss. Doesn't say thank you. He didn't give her any raise for years. And then I asked her, is there anything, even one thing that you can appreciate him for? And
Mhm.
says, "Oh, I can't find anything." But after about a minute, she said, "Oh yes, he hired me even though I didn't have a college degree." Like, oh, isn't that a great thing that he could have hired a college graduate or more skills? And she said, yeah, that's true. I have no skill. I feel poor for him. She has no skills, high school graduate, but he hired her.
Mm.
And then that's right. I didn't even think about that. And then she started finding, she has a stable job. That's why she could send 2 kids to school. So she was in a more appreciation mode, and she started thanking her boss. And then a few weeks later, she got a big raise and a big bonus. And then I think her appreciation toward him touched his heart. And then he realized that, oh, I forgot to appreciate this woman because she's in her life. I took her for granted. So I
Mhm.
think it's time for me to show my appreciation to her. So appreciation opens a door, opens somebody's heart
Right.
in a loving way. And then the feeling could be mutual.
That's beautiful. So when she was appreciating him, she was doing this internally, not to his face. She was just having an inner attitude of appreciation, or was she actually appreciating him out loud?
I think she wrote a simple card saying thank you.
Mhm.
That really shocked him. And then I think he could definitely change the shift because
Mhm.
she was in a complaining mode right before. And the next day she was a happier mode, and she was more thank you mode. And I think people can feel it.
Mhm.
You can feel your husband or wife's change once like in the morning when you just get up in the morning, good morning, you can usually tell if she's in a good mood or bad mood, right?
Yeah.
So
What now you have, I met you and your daughter there in India.
mhm,
You guys seem to have a special bond.
yes.
It was very obvious. You are very, very close. It reminded me of me and my daughter. We're very close as well.
Mhm,
What do you teach her about money? I mean, she's singing.
mhm,
You guys are going to do stuff together now in terms of
yes.
her singing and you speaking. What lessons do you give her about money at this stage of her development?
Yeah, so I teach her to focus more of what she wants to do, and
Hmm.
then she that way she can get supported by many people.
Hmm.
And the way I brought her up is just love people. You know, oftentimes people teach kids like don't become a guarantor, you know, for a loan, co-signing the loan or something. But my education is completely opposite. Find somebody, at least one, ideally three, so you can co-signing the loan for this person for the rest of your life, and then you feel peaceful. In other words, like you can trust somebody so much that you can put all your assets, all your money in toward that person. And if you trust somebody so deep, you have a very good relationship. And if you can be trusted by somebody that, like I have good friends who said, Ken, when you have a financial problem in the future, all my money is your money. And I can say the same thing to him. So we are bonded, right? So if you have like a 100% commitment to your friends like that, you know, you'll be fine for the rest of your life. So I haven't really taught her about.
So that's wealth. You're talking about the power of friendship, the power of community, and the power of trust.
Yeah.
Don't walk into the world as a person that's doesn't trust.
Yes.
So basically, she's going to then magnetize into her life rather than somebody that's going to do her in. She's going to magnetize people in her life that's trustworthy.
Exactly. So, you know, the reason why I'm not afraid of money or anything is like, even if I lose everything, the other day I counted how many friends I have, good friends. And I calculated more than 50 friends. Wow. So when I lose everything, I'll go to my friend number one and say, hey, Michael, can you let me stay for 1 week? And then I go to my second friend and the third friend. They're only 50 weeks. Right. So after about a year, hi, Michael, it's been a year. How are you? So I can keep hopping from my one friend to the other, visiting. So I'm not worried about money because my friends are going to take care of me. That's how I feel.
Yeah, that's abundance.
Yeah, so that means more than I have money in my bank account. So don't depend on your bank account. Depend on your friends.
But you're real friends. Real friends. Now, what about what would you say to people who are really struggling right now? We would put them in the category of being poor. What advice would you give individuals at that level?
I call them financially challenged people.
Financially challenged
people. You know, I've met so many millionaires and billionaires, but they're not happy and doing well. But there were times that they didn't do well. They had to sleep on their friend's sofa, or in a garage, or in a car. You know, something like that happens. And if you happen to be born in a financially challenged area, or a tough neighborhood, or you didn't have a father or mother, your upbringing could be tough. My upbringing was tough emotionally, so I can really relate to you. It doesn't last forever if you let it, you know. And the most important thing is you have to be vulnerable enough to ask for help, you know, help somebody. There's always somebody, more people are willing to help you. Could be your friends, could be your relatives, could be your neighbor, you know. But unless you ask for help, people would not know. We are so busy. So unless we are asked, we cannot give help. So you have to learn how to be vulnerable to ask for help. Yes. And then the help will be there.
Is there? Yes, I see. Yeah, you're expanding abundance from just merely money. You're expanding it to other resources and people and friendship. And then all of this is built upon an underlying trust in the universe. Just right. If you're a trusting person, then you magnetize, you become a different kind of magnet. Right. If you're an untrusting person, you become a different kind of magnet. You'll repel the good in your life. But if you're a trusting person, you'll attract good in your life. It still comes back to the vibration of your attitude. Exactly.
So, you know, in my next book, I'm writing in How to Stop Worrying About Money. I talk about how to let go of money worries. So a lot of money problems or worries come from your doubt about your future. If you're not connected to a beautiful future, then you start worrying. So, with our smartphones, sometimes we are connected to a weird wireless and then somehow lose connection. That's what happens. We're connected to a beautiful future. We feel good about it, excited about it. But if we are connected to a negative future, then suddenly you feel bad, you feel heavy, you start worrying that maybe I'll run out of money. But it's because you are connected. Your smartphone, your brain is connected to a negative future. Once you know that you are temporarily connected to a future which is negative, you can just reconnect with a positive future where you have money, you have work, you have all the friends who can support you, and then you feel safe. So trusting your future is the essence of letting go of your money worries, because it's not your money worries, it's about your life worries. So if you trust life, you'll be fine.
Right. I always say that worrying is like paying interest on money you haven't borrowed.
You're so right. Yes, exactly.
There's no transformational value in worrying at all. Something you said earlier that I'm aligned with is that it's difficult to be in gratitude or appreciation and worry at the same time. They're two different vibrations. If you stay in appreciation, then you're not going to worry. Then you become a magnet for more good in your life. Now, two more questions before we go. One, is there a spiritual aspect to money? Is there a paranormal spiritual vibration to it?
Definitely. People know it already because you know it. When you grab the money, it's not real money. No, it's not your money. And then it makes you miserable. So money is very spiritual, and we are all spiritual. So we know it. If it's not your money, don't take it. And then if money gives you good feeling, receive it with your open heart. So money is very spiritual. So don't make full of it because with the money, bad energy comes with it. Like a lot of money comes with bad energy. If you take advantage of other people, bad energy comes with money. So you have to pay more attention to what's happening in the world. There is a happy money flow and there's unhappy money flow. The choice is yours. Which one do you want to be connected to? And the key is appreciation. Arigato your money.
Right. It reminded me of a statement by Mohandas K. Gandhi, where he talked about that unearned wealth is evil.
Yes, exactly.
Unearned wealth is evil. That people who amass great fortunes on the backs of others through oppression or through theft or crime, and they appear to be wealthy on the outside, he called it an evil that begins to eat at them from the inside out.
Exactly.
That's unhappy money.
Yes, my mentor Wahei made fortune by selling cookies for babies. What a fun way of making money. It's only like,
and you told a story about something about cookies and gratitude and Thanksgiving going into the cookies or something.
They sell, still they sell like 20 cents per package, right? So he makes like a cent off of a package, but he make it so low so everybody can benefit. So in the process of the factory, it takes about like 24 hours, right? From the flour to the real cookies. And he just played the song sung by kids like arigato, arigato, arigato. It's arigato song. So by the time from the flour to the cookies, these little cookies have listened to thank you 1 million times. So it's in the package, it says 1 million thank you in your mouth.
Wow. So the vibration of thank you is going into the cookie.
Yes.
And then it's going into the person's body. So that vibration of thank you is going into the person's body by eating a cookie.
Yes. Isn't that so appropriate to feed your baby?
It's scientific. It's beautiful. I remember Deepak Chopra many years ago talked about this experiment that was done in, I think, Ohio University, where they were feeding rabbits food. And some of the rabbits, they were feeding food that wasn't that good for them. I forgot what was wrong with the food right now. So it's an old research project, but they didn't know that the person that was giving the rabbits the bad food was rubbing them and kissing them and saying good things to the rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
And so the food, even though it was poisonous, they became very healthy because he was saying all of these beautiful affirmations and I love you, I love you, I love you. And it turned the food into a very high vibration. So I can imagine these cookies with I thank you, I thank you, I thank you, even though it's a sweet, it's actually being transformed into something good for the people. So it goes back to our attitude. It goes back to thanking money. It goes back to blessing money. It goes back to circulating money. It shows us how much power we have. If we don't complain, but instead go into a trusting, loving, giving, sharing vibration. So, yeah, this has been very helpful for many people, I'm sure. Let me ask you, the last question is, how can people get in touch with you? I know you have a lot of books out there, and the last book you wrote is Happy Money. You have another book coming out in 2024. But if people want to get in touch with you right now, what can they do?
Thank you for asking. You can find all the information at Ken Honda, Ken, Honda as in a car. No, even though I drive Toyota, Ken Honda.
You drive a Japanese car?
No. And then you can find all the information. I'm going to translate more material from Japanese to English, but doing this in English is so challenging. I've learned, this is my second language, so I'm learning every day, new language. So I hope I can translate more free material for English speakers. So you can
is it kenhonda.com or just look up Ken Honda, Google?
Yes, Ken Honda, probably you'll find it.
Very good. Well, Ken, it's been a joy speaking with you about happy money. And it was good being with you in India. Look forward to being with you again, perhaps in Japan.
Yes, definitely. Oh, we are just already planning on it. So I have to ask you for the calendar because it's probably getting full pretty fast, right?
Yeah, absolutely. What year shall we do this? Shall we do it this year or next year?
We can do it next year, 2024, and sometime or cherry trees, or maybe later in summer, or just depending on your schedule.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have somebody call you. We can work on the calendar.
Yes,
we'll both be happy together.
Yes, I look forward to seeing you.
Ken, God bless you. Hey, give your daughter a big hug for me.
Thank you.
And we'll see each other soon. Have a bright day.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm sending all my love and happy money energy to you.
And I'm receiving it and spreading it around.
Thank you so much.
Peace and blessings.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And welcome back. This is our moment of meditation. Meditation is key. It's vital. It's important. It's actually the foundation of the Agape community. We are a community of individuals who practice the art and science of meditation. We're going to do a brief meditation based upon Ken's moving us into a spirit of abundance around happy money and trust. I invite you to turn within at this moment, to close your outer eye. Let your feet be on the ground. Trust gravity. Be still. Put your hands in your lap facing upward as a sign of receptivity. Put a little smile on your face as if you're happy about something. And begin to contemplate the feeling tone of all of your needs being met. If you need assistance, think of any time in your life where you have felt that all of your needs were met. From the time of your infanthood to present moment, remember key moments where you felt harmonizing prosperity. You felt all of your needs were met. You may not have been concentrating on money per se, but there may have been just a feeling of, all of my needs are met. I want you to come into that feeling now. And I want you to give yourself permission that with every breath that you take, the feeling tone of all needs met is growing. It may start off as a burning ember inside of your being, but every breath is fanning that ember to become a flame of all needs met, a flame of harmonizing prosperity, a flame of abundance. Every breath is catalyzing the flame of the feeling of abundance. Notice worry is dissolving. Anxiousness about the future is being let go. For in the nowness of this moment, your need is met. Extend this feeling tone of abundance into the feeling tone of trust that this feeling of abundance will continue. This is where you are living. You are happy. You're in a field of abundance. All of your needs are being met. You're now a candidate for spontaneous goodness, inspiration, inspired wisdom, divine guidance, because you're not blocking it with worry, doubt, fear, anxiety, anxiousness, all of those emotions that have been normalized by so many citizens around the globe. No, not you. You're in the feeling tone of abundance, now gratitude, now all needs met. Sit in this feeling for just a few more seconds. Every breath is fanning the flame of the ember of abundance and the feeling tone of all needs met. Take a deep inhalation. Release. Let your awareness stay expanded even as you open your eyes. Walk in the world as if life is for you and have the confidence that nothing real is against you. Your needs are met. Have a beautiful day. Peace and blessings. You've heard me say the old statement from time to time that an individual that's unwell, individual that is sick, has only one dream. But an individual that's healthy has many dreams. I want you to be a healthy individual from the inside out. One of our sponsors is Nutrarize, Nutrarize.com, that carries Adaptogen. Adaptogen is my superfood greens with 47 different plant-based ingredients, adaptogens, plus probiotics, prebiotics, and digestive enzymes. One scoop is going to do you really well. Go to our sponsor, Nutrarize.com, look under adaptogens, and get the bundle. Subscribe to the vitamin D3, K2, and the superfood greens. Your body's going to love you. You also have heard me say over the years that spiritual community grants you immunity from the lower frequencies of life. The other sponsor is Agape International Spiritual Center. We're in our 37th year go to agapelive.com. Notice that we have 3 services on Sunday. We have a university with classes. We have many different programs and ministries, all for the unfoldment of our soul to be the best version of ourselves. Those are our sponsors for now. Have a bright day. Your time is very valuable, so I want to thank you for lending us your ear and participating in taking back your mind. If you want to submit a question for the question of the week, please submit it to podcast@michaelbeckwith.com. If you've enjoyed what you've heard today, please submit a review and let us know your thoughts. Stay on top of current episodes by subscribing to the podcast so that you'll receive alerts and not miss one single episode. And feel free to share this podcast with all of your friends and family. And until we meet again, take back your mind, and you will take back your life. Peace and blessings.